back with another craft for Halloween. Got my Queen of Halloween apron on. And we're going to make a rusty jack-o'-lantern. We're going to start with a Tide Pod bottle. You know that your Tide Pods come in. You take those little stickers off by soaking and then scraping and maybe some Goo Gone and get those off. That's not an easy job. And you come up with something like this. See, it already looks like a pumpkin. You can even not rust it up and use it like this if you wanted to. Okay, then you buy a rust kit. And it comes in a box like this. You can get it at Hobby Lobby or I think Home Depot. A couple places have it. And inside of it are three things: the primer, the iron, and rust. And then a little sprayer that you're going to spray the rust with. But first thing it says to do, and I just follow the steps on the box until we get to the last part, and I'll show you how to do make it into its pumpkin jack-o'-lantern thing. We're going to protect our surfaces. I've got my cloth down, I've got my little tray, and from getting getting your mess everywhere. And we're going to prime everything with 2 coats of primer and allow half an hour between coats, and then 2 hours for it to finally dry. So I'm going to put a coat on. I'll start this little lid and show you what it looks like. And then I'll have to pause it and come back because that's a long time to have to sit. We don't want to watch paint dry. Okay, so I'm taking my primer. The primer. You can make anything that you could paint look like rust with this kit. It's a really cool effect. So I'm just going to paint this. See, just putting the paint on. It's the primer. And I'm going to do that on this, and then I'm going to do it on the whole big part. You don't have to get real thick on this top part because we're going to glue a bunch of stuff on here. We're going to put a stem and maybe some Spanish moss or something like that, and some little leaves. So don't worry too much about the top part of the lid. Get your sides pretty good. And then we're going to set it aside and let it dry. And put another coat on in a half an hour. And I'll be back then. Okay, hang on. Okay, I'm jumping on here real quick to show you my first coat of primer. Now we're going to let this sit for a half an hour and then put on another coat. That would be our second coat. And after that, we'll wait 2 hours. Okey-doke. And I'm back. So this is 2 coats, and it's dried from the primer. Went ahead and cut out the face. Thought, well, maybe we should do that. You can use an X-Acto knife, or Phil used a box cutter for me. And there's his little face. And that, when we put it in a little glow thing, it'll show up orange from the inside and look rusty on the outside. So our next step is to put on 2 coats of the iron paint. It says paint prime surface with 2 coats of iron paint. Allow half an hour to dry between coats, and 1 hour for the whole final dry. And this is that part, the iron paint. So I'm just going to shake it up and open it, and I'll paint the lid for you and show you how it looks. What I'm doing is just sticking my brush in the bottle. And this is going to take 2 coats. You can see it looks black when you paint it on. And just give that a coat all over. And then I'll give a coat all over for my pumpkin itself besides the lid. And remember what I said about the lid. Really, I'm going to cover this with some little floral arrangement. So it doesn't have to be fantastic. The edges do, because the edges are probably going to show pretty good. And now I'm going to paint the pumpkin. Can you see how it's showing up on there? And I'm going to do that all over, 1 coat, and let it dry for half an hour. Then I'll do my second coat. Okay, be back in a minute. Okay, so I've put the iron coating on, and I've waited between coats, put 2 coats on. That's kind of what it looks like right now. And my next step says to spray on a light coating of rust activator over entire surface and wait 5 minutes, then spray on a second light coat. And as it dries, 30 to 40 minutes, a rust finish will appear. So we're going to have a little rusty bucket here in a minute, hopefully. Here's the rust activator, and I'm going to put in a little spritzer thing that comes with it. I'm just going to do the lid for now, and then I'll come back and do this. So here's the lid, and I'm just going to spritz it on. It says spray on a light coating. So let me get it, the spritzer, and here I go. Okay, light coating. Now let's let that, we'll wait 5 minutes and come back and do another light coating. Hey, I'm back. I went ahead and used the rust activator, and the directions said spray on a light coating of rust activator over entire surface, which I did, and wait 5 minutes and spray on a second light coat. And I've done that. As the activated surface dries 30 to 40 minutes, a real rust finish will appear. Now, here's my 2 coats on here. I'm waiting for it to look real rusty. So far it just looks kind of wet, and I've done the same thing here. So now we're going to wait our 30 and 40 minutes and see if it turns to rust. Okay, I'll be back. Hi, I'm back. I wanted to show you how it's looking right now. It's turning kind of rusty. Isn't it looking cool? See, here it is. I just painted it, and the stuff is taking effect. Here's the lid. We're going to kind of cover that with, I've picked up a few sticks. I haven't decided what I'm going to use yet. I'm thinking maybe something like this. I'll glue at the top of it, like a stem, or maybe this. And then I'll put some Spanish moss and maybe an artificial leaf or something. So I'll get my glue gun. I'm going to let this, it's still a little damp on the edges, so I'm going to let it sit a little bit longer and finish this rusting thing, and we'll be back. Okay, hello, I'm back. I'm going to try and show you what I'm doing here. So I've got the camera kind of pointed down, and we're going to glue some stuff on here. I'm going to start with the stem, hopefully. And I may have to shut you off just to try and fool with it, because it might take longer than I suspect. So I kind of like this one. I'm going to hot glue it right here. See if my hot glue's, yep, it's hot. Put lots of glue on there. I'm going to have to hold it for a second, you know. Let's see if I can get that to stay. Can you see what I'm doing a little bit? I guess I did it the right way. What I was thinking. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to glue the stem on, and then I'm going to take the stuff that's called moss. What's it called? I don't know, moss collection or something. And it comes in like little chunkies, and I'm going to put that around it. I'm going to glue that. I'm going to hot glue that around the stick after I get that on there. Whoops. Get that plastic off the hot glue gun, Jennifer. Woohoo, I started a fire here. That'd be some excitement. Okay. I'm going to hold this for a little bit longer, and then I'll come back. Okay, guys. Here it is. I'll go set it up somewhere so you can see it better. And put a little light in it. Okay, here it is finished up. Here's the little stem. Here's the lid. And I don't have a light in it right now, but you can put a little light in it. And it looks like a little rusty metal doohickey. Okay. The end.